Hey girl, I'm getting ready to do your reading and I'm actually going to turn the camera on the cards. But I was meditating just for a couple minutes here, tuning into your energy, and I just wanted to relay a couple of the messages that I was getting just straight that way before I get to the cards. Um, um, I was I was hearing that you being in the place where you are right now, I think I remember you saying that you're teaching in middle school now. It's taking you into the middle school years, into your own middle school years, which I'm feeling were tumultuous and like they were for a lot of us, but it feels like it was like outcast kind of energy and um, maybe being put on the spot and not liking that spotlight because people used to pick on you or whatever it was. Being there right now is kind of activating, especially we're going into Mercury retrograde right now. It's kind of activating that time period in your life, and it's almost as if part of you is in that time period and part of you is here now. Um, I think a lot of what you've learned over the years, and especially, excuse me, solar plexus clearing, especially what you've learned in your awakening process, is meant to help these kids just by you being it, no matter what, and it not bothering you and it not affecting you the way that it did when you were in middle school. But there's a part of you that it does affect even now. And it's gonna the vibration of that is kind of calling in those energies around you right now too, and it's just this feeling of being out of place, feeling out of place. There's many different timelines going on, and I, you have the option to stay there and shift your story and change it into one where um, you're rewriting your middle school story and the experience that you have now. You're able to shift your vibration and call in a more peaceful middle school kind of experience by staying in that position and doing that and approaching it as a kind of karmic balancing almost. Or what you can do is, and what I was sitting here thinking about was they were bringing to mind the fact that my kids are homeschooled right now. And so many people are afraid of sending their kids to school, especially middle school, because of the um, emotional and social dynamics that are there, like we're talking about, and wanting to have them be able to focus more on their schoolwork and on their own personal growth without all of the, um, you know, the social bullying and just the body issues and the things that go on in middle school. People are wanting to homeschool their kids to be able to better control their environment and make it a really beautiful time in their lives. This part where they're shifting into new kinds of human beings and starting into puberty and going, and it's a time of real self discovery, and they're very impressionable at this age. And but there are so many people that don't have the capacity to homeschool their kids because of COVID and or because of their jobs and blah blah blah. But they're having more of them are also wanting to homeschool their kids because of the mandates that are in schools. They don't want them to wear a mask. They don't want them to be, all of this talk with vaccinations and stuff like that. And they're wanting to just have a freer schooling ability for their kids. But they have to go to work and blah, blah, blah. And so what they took me to was the possibility of what if you figured out some way to teach homeschool kids middle school? And you were like a private teacher for that, and you could teach co-op groups, um, middle school subjects and topics and with home the beauty about homeschooling is that there's so much room for expansion and for creativity, and you can create whatever kind of classes you want to. Really, you can bring in the esoteric with it. You can offer yoga classes with it, or you guys could sit for 15 minutes every 2 hours, and you can send Reiki while they sit in meditation, and you can teach them about the beauty of stillness, and then you can teach them about the beauty of movement in a different way, like with yoga or with Tai Chi or something like that. The creative possibilities with that seem really, really energizing. So maybe look into that and see if you can explore that just a little bit, because I know that there are so many homeschool parents out there that are not teachers, do not want to be teachers, don't want to spend the time to like actually be sitting down and physically doing the teaching with them, but would prefer them to be homeschooled and to not be at school right now for all of the reasons for stuff that's going on. But also, my daughter is in 6th grade now, and I was terrified of sending her to middle school too, just for the dynamics that were there. And it worked out that we've been homeschooling for the last year and a half anyway. So, but I don't want to do the schooling. Luckily, they go to their dad's halftime, and their stepmother is, she's a homeschool. She homeschools her kids, and she teaches them. And but at the same time, I would love for her to have other teachers too. I would love for her to go to a co-op where they switch around and they switch teachers. And one of the things that she was a little bit upset about was not switching classes and stuff like that. And I would love for her to be around other kids too. So if there is a schooling, learning opportunity with a certified teacher, and I would pay for that. So I wonder if there's any way that you would be able to set that up. I don't know if there are any kind of mandates, or you could talk to different umbrellas, homeschool umbrellas, to see, or just homeschool co-ops. You could talk to the co-ops and see about that. You could teach a bunch of different co-ops. You could do it a different co-op every single day. But maybe just look into that. Okay, they were definitely guiding me to tell you about that. If I do feel like teaching is in you, I do feel like there is something to be said for the middle school age that I believe you could really have an effect on. And they're taking me back to the homeschoolers again, especially homeschoolers, because for so long, for many, 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 many years, homeschoolers have this stigma on them, and they are picked on, and they are looked at as outcasts and outsiders and weird and not understanding social dynamics and things like that. They're like totally picked on because they don't go to a normal school and because they don't have the same social structure and things like that. So it feels like you can take your middle school experience, a lot of our middle school experience, to that arena where kids kind of feel that way anyway, and show them the benefit of it, and show them how powerful their differences are, and how to build on those differences and their weirdness. And we all resonate with that. And we can have a card reading class, or we can have an intuition class, and we can teach them more about stuff like that, and how to really harness their differences. So think about that, okay? And just randomly, I just heard something about Michael Jackson. I don't know why. They're going to have me turn on the Michael Jackson radio station, so I'll turn that on and see what kind of music comes on, if there's any more messages in that. But I'm also going to turn over to the cards right now and see what else I have for you, okay? All right, let's see what else we come up with here. They were also telling me, other than just co-op groups and things like that, could also think about being a private tutor for people who are homeschooling. I know a woman that I'm friends with. I met in one of our co-op groups last year. She is a teacher, teaches online classes for university, but her daughter's homeschooled, so I'm not quite sure how she manages it all. But individual tutoring where you go and you are the teacher for them on a daily basis may appeal to you. We're going to keep getting into it a little bit more. So as I was saying that too, I was thinking about like creating courses for kids that involve more of the esoteric, and learning to hone their intuitive gifts and their intuitive skills. And this card with the cards in it came out. It's definitely very esoteric with the black cat, but it's also about luck. It says Friday the 13th on here too. I'm just thinking about how Halloween is coming up and how the veil starts to thin and thin and thin, and we connect in with energies of people who have passed, and just otherworldly energies, as we get closer and closer to that. There's something about luck on here. Taking some chances. Okay, thank you. I'm hearing taking some chances. Like, there's a risk. There's a risk that you're worried about taking. Okay, and I'm seeing all of these four-leaf clovers here, and I've got a four-leaf clover here in this frame too that they drew me to. So they're telling me taking some chances, taking a risk. There's a fear of the risk of not having a steady, normal job. But they're telling me, obviously, law of attraction, when you lean towards more of the energy and the feeling of what you want to be doing, sometimes what you want to be doing shows up for you. So when you're in a situation where, let's say, it's bringing up memories or the energies from when you were in middle school, but you're wanting to be in a place where you imagine middle school being a really beautiful, really fun, expansive, creative experience, when you can feel the energy of that, then ideas like, hey, why don't I homeschool people? I could be a homeschool teacher, and I have no idea what the money is going to be for that, but that doesn't matter because the feeling of that feels a lot more comfortable. It feels more in line with who I am, and ideas like that come your way when you start to maintain the energy of, what is it that I want to feel, though? Not what I want to do. What do I want to feel? What do I want to feel in my job? And then start leaning towards those avenues and what it is that makes you feel that way. And it's going to require, I'm hearing it's going to require taking some chances and taking a gamble. But it will pay off. It is going to pay off. It is going to pay off. And so there's two different, they're giving me like time references too, which they don't usually. Like we're talking around October. They're showing me this Friday the 13th, but it's, kind of referring to, I would look on the calendar too and see if there is a Friday the 13th coming up. But they're more referring to like Halloween is kind of a Friday the 13th kind of thing. I don't know why I'm so tongue-tied right now, but it's almost hard to get all of this out because there's so much here. That's another thing, is your energy is completely wide open. Very, very, very wide open right now, which is good. It's easy for me to get into. And it is good to have an open heart space. You're in a space of really being vulnerable, feeling vulnerable because your heart is wide open. It's good. It's a scary place to be, and that's why you're feeling a little bit of fear and just unease, because your heart frequency doesn't match up with, what it is, your career that you're doing right now, or the environment that you're in right now. Just remember to protect your energy and to be grounding yourself in the things that do make you feel comfortable more often. So while you're at your job where you need to be right now, make sure that you're also filling yourself with the energy of things that make you feel really good. Like reading cards for people. I know that you're super busy right now. I know how the beginning of a school year is, but making sure that you're connecting with those people who are like-minded, like us, and or doing a Reiki share or something like that. Just making the effort to connect with your people who are like this and who tune into that side of you, because that's what makes you feel comfortable and at home, and that's what's going to help maintain this feeling that you're trying to generate with what it is that you want to do with your life and where you want to go and what kind of job you want to be doing, in order for it to manifest. You just have to have a little bit of patience as it manifests. And then when the opportunity arises, they're telling me it's like opportunities are going to start popping up for you, and you got to take chances. You got to take a chance and jump on it. Have some faith and know that it's being guided by this side of you, by this esoteric side of you. Okay? That's what I'm getting from this card. I'm just going to look a little bit more. Okay, so I was getting two things as for timing. Either around October, around Halloween, or if there is a Friday the 13th in the next couple of months, or around St. Patrick's Day in March. I got that sunshine in my pocket. I got that good soul in my feet. Echo, turn it down. For timing wise, so it's either both of these dates or just one of them that they're referring to. They are all in line with each other, so take it as it resonates for you, but it definitely feels like sometime around March or sometime around Halloween that there's going to be something that comes up that you're going to need to take a chance on, or that's when an opportunity is going to come up. And I don't usually get timelines like that, so. All right, I'm going to pull a couple of cards from this Life Purpose Oracle deck. All right. It says counseling. You heal with kind words, wise advice, and an empathetic ear. I feel like you're also going to have people drawn to you who, like kids where you work that are similar to you, to your vibration, that if you open yourself up to really feeling your middle school experience again, you're going to draw in to you the kids who are having right now the same similar middle school experience that you are, and you're going to be an ear for them. You are going to be able to use your experience in order to help them now. To open yourself up to allowing yourself to feel and to remember and to feel safe in your now moment, feel safe in who you are, and knowing that everything happens for a reason. But at the same time, allowing yourself to feel again those things that you experienced through middle school. And I feel like during Mercury retrograde, it's going to be a really karmic healing experience for you to heal that part of your life. And it's also going to be helpful for the kids that are around you. Okay, well, duh. Teaching. You inspire young people to learn. Okay, so there's something in your energy, and that's what you need to tune into. There's been, in the last couple of days, this theme of insecurity and doubt in ourselves that is needing to be re-examined, and I'm having solar plexus clearing again. And a lot of that insecurity comes from when we were 11, 12, 13, 14, right around that age when we started to change and appearances started to matter and our bodies were changing and stuff like that. And so most of our deep-seated insecurities come from that time in our lives. So what we're doing is tuning into that. It's really important to tune into that time period in our lives and heal that and shift the story and now shift into these divine beings that we are. And what I was getting an image of when I was meditating on your energy was this feeling of like an awkward 12-year-old or something like that. But at the same time, the vision that I was having was the pictures that you posted from when you were in California with Ronald. When you looked so beautiful when you were there in the sun, in your gorgeous dresses, and the energy that you were putting off was just so confident and so full of light and knowing and sunshine and travel and expansion and just adventure. All of that is within you, and that's what I see. That's the person that I see. That is the person that is a result of all of her experience. And so you can take the energy of that girl back to your middle school child and show her a thing or two. Show her the way that you've grown and the things that you know now that you wish you knew back then. And you actually are the teacher that can tell the kids now what you wish you knew back then, or whatever it was about, that kind of person. You will inspire people to learn more about what it is that you do and who you are spiritually. It definitely feels like you're meant to be teaching people, whether it's in middle school or it's next step or it's in homeschool or whatever it is. There's definitely more that you'll be teaching people about esoterically. I wonder if you're meant to teach kids Reiki. Let's feel more into that. Another one, school. Look at you, counselor, teaching, school. The answer that you're seeking involves going to school. And I just said something about teaching the kids. From this, whether it has to do with school or what we were talking about or not, they're wanting me to talk to you about the causal chakra. The causal chakra, and also the chakra at the back of your head, some people call it the seat of dreams. I can't remember what else it's called, but also the causal chakra. To focus in on that area, because there are messages trying to come through there, but there's something sitting there. There's a filter that's there. There's in the causal chakra, that's where religious programming sits. And the information, the light codes that you're getting from your higher chakras above that are being filtered down through distorted religious programming and things like that. So it's almost like you need to go back to, I don't know if you went to Catholic school or religious school or whatever, but there's programming from religious schooling that's sitting in your causal chakra that Archangel Christiel is here. She is wanting to help to remove those programs from that area. And it's about it messes with your identity and you knowing who you are and having to abide by other people's belief systems and their belief of who you are. That's the thing that is causing insecurity issues, is believing what other people think you are. And that it was rooted in middle school. That's when it was rooted. So the answer that you're seeking involves going to school. It's almost like going back to school. It's almost like going back to middle school, like we were talking about. But it does feel like teaching is clearly something that you're meant to be doing. Let's figure out more about it. And I know that, time to decide. Make a decision based on your heart's true desires. So this is another thing that we're talking about, is the feeling. What it is that you want to feel. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? I just heard, what do you want to do with your life? And focusing on the feeling, understanding the feeling, learning more, going back to school for law of attraction, like really studying law of attraction again. I feel like you did before, but it also feels like there's been a break in that you've been processing a lot of shadow energies and that you've been healing a lot. And now it's time to shift gears again and come back into positive momentum and conscious creation and conscious manifestation. And that's creating according to your heart frequency and what you feel and the energy that you want it to feel like. I want my job to feel like freedom and fresh air and California and sunshine and driving in my car with the window down and free. I don't want it to feel like work. I want it to feel like, I want my job to feel like vacation. I want my job to feel like home. And getting yourself into and imprinting your heart, imprinting your mind, having your heart speak to your mind and say, this is what we're going to think with our heart from now on. And it's going to help you when you're faced with taking chances and taking a risk in order to decide what it is that you want to do. Go with what it feels like. Go with what your heart is telling you. And you will be guided to being supported. If it feels good to think, there's this opportunity, or I'm feeling like if just one more thing happens at school and I have to do this regulation or whatever it is, that I'm guided to just, I don't know, whatever it is. I don't want to suggest you just quit your job, but if it comes up and it feels really good, just trust that you're being guided and you're going to be supported. You're going to be supported to the next right thing. If it feels good to be released of that burden, something is going to come up for you. Something is going to come into line with that, and you are following your heart's desire. And if you can trust that and not allow fear to creep in there when it comes to money or whatever it is, it will start flowing in when you're just going to continue on with that alignment. Right? All right. I'm also got out this Alice in Wonderland Oracle deck. I haven't used it in a while, so Echo, turn it up. She will be loved. She will be loved. She will be loved. She will be loved. You are really on your way to connecting with your community, too. Your community. I don't know if you've ever taken animal Reiki before, but okay, this is standing out to me. So when I said teaching children Reiki, what I was thinking also was teaching kids how to do Reiki on animals because they connect so well with animals. And I was thinking all of that at the time, but I didn't say anything about it. But now that this card came out, they're taking me back to that again. I don't know if you've ever taken animal Reiki before, but that's a suggestion. As soon as this one came out, I also saw the cat on this one. And this says messages for a rabbit service to the animal world. So that's another suggestion for you. I'm also seeing like wild rabbits. So not just in order to teach other people or to teach kids animal Reiki, but you using the animal Reiki in grid work and earth work and being the kind of grid worker that goes out and sends energy and healing and groundedness specifically to the animals. There's a lot of animals in the world that are suffering because of the energies that are being processed. They're affected by them too, and I don't know that enough people are focusing on the animals and the effect that these dense energies are having on them, but also the effect on us that imbalanced animal energy has. It's like it's affecting the animal spirits. So, especially with they're reminding me about all of the fires in California and how all of the animals were displaced there and having to adapt and having to go into human establishments and them having to adjust and move homes and things like that. Their energies are imbalanced, and so it's like if the deer are, or the bears, I'm seeing like bears and cubs and stuff like that, if the bears are all fucked up right now because of what's happening with their homes and they're being displaced, that energy is rippling out into bear spirit itself, and the bear spirit that normally guides people is lessened or weakened, and we're needing to focus our energy in that space. Becoming braver, resilience, experience, growing stronger, fresh perspective. I really love that. As we talk through things, it feels like as we talk through this and as we explore and really dig into the what's in your field and what possibilities are in your field and what different timelines and what different options you have, as we kind of talk through that, it feels more confident. It feels more like, okay, it feels more resonant. It feels like it's right up your alley. It feels like it's your wheelhouse again. So as you connect in with this side of yourself, it puts you back into your wheelhouse and what you really, truly, deeply resonate with, and in order to bring more of that into your everyday life. It's not just bringing more cards into your everyday life or reading for other people or whatever it is, but you would reference a card for the beginning of your day, or at lunchtime you pull a card for one of the kids or for the class. First thing in the morning, what you do is you pull a card for the class and you just kind of read the energies that are present for that day and for that day's learning, and where that's leading. Maybe it's connected to something historically. I don't know what subject you teach, but like bringing more of this into your everyday life, not just into your personal life, but maybe you can even bring that along with you to school somehow. I don't know. But leaning into this spiritual side of yourself is really, really important. On the bottom of the deck, use your time well. Make every moment count. And another cat, of course it's the Cheshire Cat. There's something about this ginger orange tabby cat. I don't know if you have a cat or not, or if you did have one. This feels like a cat that maybe you did have when you were a child. Feels like one that passed. And the song Somewhere Over the Rainbow is on by Iz. Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So yeah, I feel like this is a cat that passed for you over the rainbow bridge. And this face is really standing out to me, like it was a super happy cat or just like really playful. I feel like he's saying, it feels like he's having so much fun just playing with all the mice and all the different colors of the rainbow. That he's happy. Dreams that you dream of. Dreams really do come true. I think he's a spirit animal. It could be an animal that you had when you were younger or something that passed, or it could be a spirit animal for you. It's like you have a ginger cat that's a spirit animal. Feels long-haired to me too. I don't know why that matters. Use your time well. Make every moment count. There's more to that. Get my tarot out. Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Bluebirds fly. Look up bluebird spirit. Dream it into being. Use your time well and dream it into being. More over the rainbow. So we're talking about the rainbow bridge, which is the Antakarana, your chakra system, but somewhere over the rainbow, up above the other chakras, the 7 chakras, is the causal chakra. So they're referring me back to that again when they keep saying somewhere over the rainbow. Go back into and look up the causal chakra and really focus on those kind of energies and removing any distortions that are blocking that area. Also look up Archangel Christiel, who is wanting to help you with the causal chakra. Okay, what does it mean, use your time well? Can you give me more detail about that? Thank you. All right, slow down. See friends shaking hands. What do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies crying. This song is really standing out to me. Use your time well. We've got the Devil card, the 8 of Swords, and the Queen of Cups. This Queen of Cups feels the colors are really similar to this 8 of Swords. Someday I wish upon a star. This energy here feels a lot like Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene too. But you can see the colors are very similar, even though the 8 of Swords and the Queen of Cups, they are not really very close energetically, the meanings of them. The 8 of Swords is... Okay, thank you. Okay, so this energy here is really wanting to help ease your mind and ease what's going on for you right now. You're kind of in the middle of, like I was saying, with your middle school, with your teaching right now. Use this Mercury retrograde time in a really beneficial way. There is a lot of shadow energies that are coming up that bring up a lot of fear, and they bring up just, oh God, I hear being picked on and being outcast, the outcast kind of energy, or whatever kind of demons it is inside of you that you're facing. You've been doing that for a while now, and being thrust in the middle of this position where you don't quite feel at home or comfortable has, because of the shadow work you were doing leading up to it, has kind of got you in a place of being stuck in thoughts and in your head, and also being in an environment where it's like an institution, where it's a school, it's that kind of structure. That kind of structure tends to have you in your head. But just know that you are there for a reason. You were planted there for a reason. And this Queen of Cups, Mary Magdalene, and Mother Mary are there to help ease your mind. Really ease your mind. I'm here to ease your mind and tell you that this experience that you're in right now is meant to also ease your mind. Not just easing your mind right now about the situation, but the fact that you're in this is meant to ease your mind. And I'm hearing 8th grade too with this 8 of Swords. To ease the pain and the subconscious memories and energies that haunt you from that time period. This is a really beautiful time for you to be able to face those demons, to see them, to know that you're here now, and to know that the purpose of you being there and re-experiencing this is to shift the story. It does not need to be a rerun of all of that. It's like a do-over. And in a really beautiful way, because you have the tools right now to be able to shift your vibration and change the story. So using your time well and really making all the time that you are spending there count towards there is a purpose for you there right now, and it's your individual healing and the healing in your through your light body out to the people all around you. Your empathic nature is a serious superpower, and you're meant to show kids that age that their sensitivities are their superpower. That age is when our sensitivities were targeted and picked on, and we had to suppress them, or we were made fun of for them, or whatever it was. And this is a time period where teaching kids about those sensitivities and how much of a superpower they are is so important in this environment, right? So that your draw off of your empathic being and really be you. Just be all you. Be as you can be in this now moment until these and that's actually going to help these other opportunities arise for you too. And I wonder if another timeline could also be that one of the opportunities that comes up for you is learning how to be a counselor for kids that age. Maybe even taking some kind of schooling, whatever kind of certificate you need to be that kind of counselor for them, because the way that you see things is a little bit different. That's another possibility too. I don't know how you feel about that, but all right. Is there anything else? I'm feeling like I need to look at this one right now. The Power of Surrender cards. We'll see what, in this moment, in order to get yourself to this place of opening up to your highest vibrational timeline and allowing it to flow, moving through whatever resistance you may have right now. So I say all of this, I'm talking about being a role model for these kids and for being you and expressing your vulnerability and being the empath that you are, and it having an effect on the kids where you are right now. I say all of that, and that doesn't mean that that needs to be what you do or where you go with it. If all of that, you have to go by what it feels like to you. So if I keep talking about that school and teaching and maybe being a counselor for these kids and staying at that school, maybe it's moving to another school, I don't know. But if I say all of that to you, and the thought and the feeling inside of you of staying at this place just like churns your stomach, and it's just like, just anything about it feels bad. Even though I know that there's some kind of purpose in it, and I could be helping these kids, but there's something inside of me that just feels really bad. Open up to that too, and really lean into your feelings and what that is, because if you start manifesting all of the feelings that you do want from that thing that you don't want, you could manifest an opportunity to leave that place a lot sooner than if you were to explore what other purpose you have being there and sticking it out and pushing through your fears and moving through this old karmic energy with your middle school years and stuff like that. You could decide that you don't want to do all of that, and Mercury retrograde is just showing you that you don't want to be in the middle school experience, and rewriting it is moving out of that school and going over to homeschooling. Like maybe your middle school years would have been a million times better if you had been in homeschool instead, and it motivates you or pushes you to open up an opportunity for something else sooner and not staying in that school. That's a possibility too. Go with what your feelings are and get into alignment with what you're feeling. What does it feel like right now? Like, it just makes you sick to even think about, just don't even know how much longer I can stand it. It's telling you something. That's telling you something. So get into alignment with, okay, if you can't stand that, then what is the feeling that you want to elicit or you want your job to elicit, or whatever kind of momentum you're trying to make, what is that feeling for you? And start doing that right now. Start really feeling into that and maintaining that feeling and doing things that make you feel that way. So if Reiki shares, or whatever it is that you like to do makes you feel the way that you would like to continue to feel from now on, do those things more often. So get yourself involved in other things, even just once a week, or whatever it is. And that's going to help. The more often you can do that and be in that energy, the sooner opportunities are going to come your way that are also that energy, that are going to help you to create that life. All right, what does she need to surrender? Surrender comparisons with other people. Keep your eyes trained on yourself. Focus on your own strengths, attractiveness, and power. And again, with this middle school energy that we're talking about, like, it was all about comparing yourself to other people and what this person looks like and what that person acts like, and that's how you fit in with this group or you fit in with that group, and blah, blah, blah. We've broken outside of that mold now, and we need to bring the energies back inside of ourselves, and we don't compare to other people. We don't compare to other people, and a lot of times that's why we don't fit in these big structures and schooling and stuff like that, because we don't operate the way that other people do, especially not with ADD. We just don't function the way that other people do, and that's a superpower, not a hindrance. We just have to find where our wheelhouse is, where those strengths are valued and can shine the best way. When we're in an environment where everybody else is different and everybody else is the same and we are different and they all function a certain way, and we don't, that's what we end up doing, is comparing ourselves to other people. But when we do that, what we need to do is see that if we compare ourselves to other people and we see how different we are, we can notice how beautiful that is. How beautiful that is. And how the things that are different about you are your strengths, are your greatest strengths, and the things that make you the most attractive and the most powerful. Okay, so surrender comparisons with other people and surrender to play. I love that. Take a break from overthinking a goal. Do something fun. Play is a time of recreation and rejuvenation. So make sure that you, like I said, you're doing the things that make you happy too, like you're going hiking while the weather is still really good, and spending as much time as you can in the energy of this, the feeling of freedom and really home and connectedness that we're talking about, that you want to maintain on a regular basis. Just play. Sometimes we have to stop thinking so much too, and stop doing so much shadow work, because sometimes it gets us stuck up in our head trying to figure out what it is. Just know that Mercury retrograde is coming in. It's going to be bringing things up for you. You don't always need to know in your brain what it is. What you need to do is stop thinking so much. It's like when kids are in school all morning long, or if it rains for a week or something and they didn't get a chance to go outside for recess. Your brain functions so much better when you're able to go out and breathe the fresh air and play and run around, and it oxygenates your brain and removes all of that stuck energy up in the upper chakras. Okay, so make sure that you're doing things that are fun for you. It's important. This is like what I was talking about with being in California, maintaining that energy and continuing to do that, even if it can't be all the time. Just in little small ways, you can try to commit to yourself to have fun every single day for at least this amount of time. Just doing something that I love for this amount of time every single day, and seeing how long I can extend that and how long I can extend the feeling of that. Because a lot of times if you do that for yourself and you do it first thing in the morning, you can ride the wave of that high for, let's say, 30 minutes. And then the next day, maybe you ride the wave of that high for an hour. And then you extend that to 2 hours. And then you do something fun in the afternoon. And so you can ride the wave for 3 or 4 hours, because then you did something fun in the morning. And then in the afternoon, you have something to look forward to too. Experiment with that in the meantime until you get the momentum towards whatever it is that you're moving towards. Okay? All right, that all feels really good. Let me know how I can help you too, okay? I'm here. I'm local. If you want to come over for a Reiki session at my house, I'm here for that. It's always nice to do this stuff in person. If you want to do a Reiki share, or if you just want to come over and pull cards one night, or whatever it is, let me know. And yeah, let me know how all of this feels for you and how it resonates for you. And if you need any kind of clarification, or if you want to expand on this a little bit, whatever, just get in touch with me. All right, talk to you soon.